Hello, art friends. My name is Fleshwood, and today I have 5 disturbing stories for you from 4chan. 4chan is a simple image-based bulletin board where anyone can post comments and share images. Think Reddit, but way less strict. 4chan is pretty popular for its green text. Green text is one of the best known features of the 4chan website, where always anonymous users tell often embarrassing stories with unexpected endings through a series of short, not quite sentences in green-colored text. I have compiled 5 short green texts for you in this video. All are disturbing and creepy. Enjoy. Make sure to watch this video in the dark with the lights off and your headphones on for the best viewing experience. Haunted Townhouse by Anonymous. About a little over 10 years ago, my mother and stepfather were getting a divorce. My mother, brother, and I moved to a townhouse complex. It's a full house, but the next house is attached. At the time, I was 11 or 12. I only saw my mother every other weekend due to moving in with my dad for stability. Whenever I was over, I always felt uncomfortable in there. I developed a fear of the dark, which I had not had since I was 4 or 5, and I only had when staying in the townhouse. It always felt like I was being watched, and in a place I didn't belong. The basement being the worst part of the house. I refused to go down there alone. It was one huge room, the size of the whole house's length and width. I never would go to the dark half of the basement. Felt someone or thing watching me from that half of the basement when I was down there. It always felt like I was in some sort of danger. I developed depression while I was there. My nights consisted of me staying up with the lights on. My brother's room was next to mine, but was always out. I would hear several times a night the door to the front door open and footsteps walk upstairs. One night it was constant. The sound of walking up and down the stairs. I went outside my room to ask my brother why he got home so late and if he could keep it down. There was nothing there. I checked my brother's room. He was asleep. Turns out he had the night off and didn't go out that night either. After that, I knew it wasn't my brother making that noise, and it got worse for me. I started picturing a bearded man in my head whenever I heard the stairs make noise. My brother also got into trouble around this time. Was very angry all the time, which was unlike him and still is today. I never met the neighbors, but you could hear the woman and man and their kid often. We had only 2 TVs, and I liked watching G4 TV. So I'd watch TV in my mother's room. I, like the basement, felt like I was being watched, and it was uncomfortable. Unlike the basement, I didn't feel in danger. I always kept checking over my shoulder into the open closet and bathroom, just instinctively. Recently, I had a nightmare about the place. I decide when I saw my mother to tell her about it, just a small talk. I told her everything I experienced there. She gets serious with me. Apparently, she's had the same experiences, but never wanted to alert me or my brother for various reasons. She said she often called me downstairs because she was afraid of the basement as well, and would hear shuffling in the back half, where I said it was really creepy. She often heard noises of doors opening and closing, and someone walking up the stairs during the day when I was at my dad's. She assumed it was my brother home early, often because he was, and it sounded like he rushed inside, ran up the stairs and slammed his door, but without saying anything. We often heard our neighbors, like I said, but she actually talked to the guy living there. On more than one occasion, we heard a woman and man flirting in the evening and laughing and having a good time, usually when we were all eating dinner. Same for a mother and child during the day. The guy living there was a med student who was often not home. He said he was usually out at nights and sleeping during the day, and told my mother he lived alone. He apparently never heard us, even though we were a loud bunch. My mother also said she believed my depression and my brother's anger, which he had been getting more aggressive, was tied to the home. She actually paid for my brother to move out, telling both of us that she thought it would help him with schoolwork, which it did. My mother's boyfriend, who I forgot to mention, moved in after about a year, also experienced the same stuff but only told my mother. He said he often saw people walking around in the other room in the corner of his eye, even when he was alone. My mother also told me about the man who she often woke up to. He was always standing in the doorway of her room. She described the man who I pictured in my head, but said he had these sunken, darkened holes where his eyes should be. Apparently the look he gave her was one of pure hatred. He was translucent as well, which I think kept her from calling the cops. We asked the managers of the townhouse if there was a death on the property before moving out, or if there was a demolished home or anything to explain the hostility that we felt from this guy. There was nothing on the property prior to the complex. I kind of wonder if it was maybe demonic or something. To be honest, I really don't know much about hauntings or demons, beyond horror movies, so I could be speaking out of my butt, but the thought of that place still scares me pretty badly in my mid-20s. A Bunch of Stories by Anonymous. Will post some shortish stories of my own to bump. Since the day my family moved into the house that I still live in, there was something weird. You could feel like someone was staring at you from the corner of the living room. You could be in the stairs going up or down and you'd feel it. Sometimes at night, you could hear someone climb up and down the stairs when there was no one, and doors would open and close downstairs in the middle of the night. Years later, we got a golden lab dog. That was one of the smartest dogs I've seen with my own eyes, and she hated whatever was in that corner. My brothers and I would tell the dog, "Go get him then, go." And she would run from the backyard to the living room and bark and growl at that corner until you told her to stop. And she'd never let you be in the living room alone at night. Less than a year after the dog died, and a few years later than that, we moved away for about a year, because my dad had the entire house remodeled, and when we came back, the thing was gone for some time. Be me about 2 years ago. Can't sleep. About 1 or 2 a.m. Decide to go on a walk and smoke a cig. Bring a dog along. Different one from last story. Walking. No problem at all. Turn down a street to go back home, the short way. No lights down the street. Pitch black. Couldn't see a few meters in front of me. Decide F it, I got a big dog and a gun. Walk a step in. Dog pulls on leash. What.jpg. Try again. Dog won't budge. She's staring straight ahead, snarling, hair raised. All of a sudden, all of the dogs in the block start barking like crazy. Try to look again. Can't see anything. Dog growling harder now. Nope. Walked the long way home. Again, couldn't sleep. 4 a.m. Feel hungry. Go downstairs. Heat up some leftovers in the microwave. Stop it before it beeps as not to wake up the rest of my family. Having dinner in kitchen. The rest of the lights in the house are off. Close door to kitchen to reduce noise. Watching movie on phone, one earbud in. Hear something. Pause movie. Think, oh man, I woke up my parents. Kitchen door swings open. Sees dark hallway. No one at the other end. MFW. Say, F off. I'll leave after I'm done eating. Few seconds pass. Door swings closed again. Finish dinner as fast as I can. Turn every light before picking my stuff and left to my room. This made me remember another story. Not spooky, but weird. Be Me 5. With older bro 6. And a daily summer course that a teacher who my parents were friends with gave for free. It's time our dad picked us up, so we were waiting inside one of the classrooms. Teacher gives us balloons to play with while we wait. We're just inflating them and then letting them go so they fly for a bit, making that sound. Bro inflates balloon to the point where I told him to stop, because I thought it was gonna pop. He lets it go. It doesn't fly away. It stays in place while deflating in the same spot, floating in the middle of the air, then falls to the floor. Look at bro. He looks at me. That was cool, let's try it again. Never got it to work again. Dad picks us up. There were no windows in this particular classroom, so it wasn't the wind resistance or something. Maybe the last one for the night. Oldest brother and uncle, about 7 or 8. In my grandparents' house. Nearby in the neighborhood, there's an abandoned house. Used to belong to a weird family. They decide to check it out. They break in. The place looks wrecked, dirty and old. In one of the rooms is a mattress that has many dark stains on it. Nearby, they find a bunch of Polaroids. They pick them up. Many of the pics are blurry. Others have faces of people, hands, legs, arms. The last bunch of pics are of a fat man that looks beaten and stabbed many times. They run back and show Grandpa the pics. They burn them and tell them not to get back in that house. They comply. Years later, the house gets bought and a new family moves in. Creepy Girl at Night by Anonymous. B25. Living alone in kind of a sucky house in a bad neighborhood because can't afford anything better and won't live with roommates. Wake up close to 4 a.m. Hear a woman screaming outside. Look out window. See nothing. Screaming quiets. Hear the faint sound of wood scraping across pavement. Think maybe some girl is getting abused out there. Grab a golf club I keep in my room for protection, and a flashlight. Go outside. Anybody out here? Walk around the backyard. See nothing. Still hear faint noise of wood scraping. Walk back to front yard. See something in the shadows near my neighbor's patio. Shine my light on it. What the F? It's a nude black woman's torso, with freakishly long arms facing away from me. Long, dirty hair. About 4 feet tall. Look down. Her lower body is some kind of flat-bottomed wooden thing, like she has a boat for legs. She turns her head toward me. Her eyes are empty sockets. She has no nose. Run the hell back inside. Hear her scream at me. Spine tingling shrill. Call the cops. Tell them there's a crazy woman outside my neighbor's house. Leave out the part about her having a boat thing for legs. Dispatcher man tells me the cops will be there to investigate, but they never show up because bad part of town, and they have better things to do. Stay up all night with the golf club in hand, wishing I owned a gun. Hears wooden scraping for about an hour later. Stops close to dawn. Ask neighbor about it next day. He gets really anxious and sweaty. Denies knowing what I'm talking about. There was no effing way he didn't see it. I think maybe he saw it too, but was so freaked out he doesn't want to believe it. Creepy picture by Anonymous. Here's the bomb I'm about to drop. This image here. I cannot stare at it for more than a few moments. It haunts my brain. Even now, just choosing the file from a bunch of thumbnails. I can't see this at 100% zoom. I don't know why, but it's wrong. This image is wrong. What it portrays I don't know. It scares me on some primal level I cannot explain. Way deep down, a part of my animal self tells me that it wants to hurt me, or is about to attack me. I just can't explain it. Official source is that it's just a really horrible police crime suspect recreation drawing from witness description. But it is still terrifying to me for a reason I can't explain. I hope you feel the same horror I do. Good luck. I'm out of this thread now. I hope you enjoyed those short green text stories. If you like these types of stories, I'd definitely be interested in reading more. Let me know in the comments below which green text creeped you out the most. For me, it was the one I decided to draw. I can only imagine the horror of seeing this creature in the middle of the night and the sounds that came with it. Make sure to click the like button if you like the art and the stories, and to subscribe if you like all things creepy. Thank you so much for watching, art friends. Until the next video. Bye.